All right, today we're going to talk about a really fundamental shift in how we think about data. We're going from seeing it as, worthless exhaust to something that could actually become the foundation of our entire digital world. So, how is that even possible? Let's dive in. Okay, let's just start with a question that's kind of designed to make you stop and think for a second. What if all that data you're creating, all the data your systems are churning out, what if it's actually designed to become worthless? I know, it sounds completely backwards, right? But honestly, for most of the data out there, that's pretty much what happens. Yeah? Think about this quote for a second. Once data moves, value disappears. That's a really stark way to put it, but it's true, isn't it? The second you share a piece of data, you often snap the connection it has to where it came from, its context, basically its worth. And this flaw is so common, so built in, we don't even see it anymore. So what's the right way to think about this problem? Well, there's a perfect term for it. Data as exhaust. I mean, it's just like the fumes coming out of a car's tailpipe. It's treated as this worthless byproduct that gets pushed out, maybe used for a split second, and then poof, it's gone. It just vanishes. And this slide really breaks down why this happens. So on the left, you've got your typical data pipeline, right? We're just creating loose files, CSVs, images, that kind of thing. But it's the right side that's the real story. It shows everything that's missing. You've got no clear ownership, no traceability. And if you don't have those, how can you possibly have trust? You can't. And without trust, there's just no way to reuse that data. The potential value is just gone. It never even had a shot. Okay, so that's the problem. But what if we could just flip that whole model on its head? Well, that's exactly where the solution comes in. It's all about building on a totally new foundation. The idea is simple. We have to stop seeing data as this disposable thing and really start, treating it like a permanent, valuable asset. And this, right here, is the absolute core of the shift. Stop treating data as a file, start treating it as an asset. I mean, think about it. A file is just flimsy, it's fragile. But an asset has a real, inherent, defensible value. So the big question is, okay, great idea, but how do you actually do that? Well, the answer is to turn that data into what's called an on-chain asset. And honestly, the best way to think about this is like a deed to a house, right? You don't just say you own a house, you have a legal, verifiable document that proves it. An on-chain asset is basically that exact same thing, but for your data. It's a record registered on a blockchain, which means its authenticity is, well, it's undeniable. So what's the engine that makes all of this work? You guessed it, it's the blockchain. That's the technology that actually gives us the mechanism to lock in the value of the data. And this part is absolutely crucial. It makes that value both measurable and programmable. And the actual process is surprisingly straightforward. So step one, data gets created. Nothing new there, just normal business. But then, and here's the magic in step two, instead of just becoming another loose file somewhere, it gets registered on chain. And bam, instantly at step three, it's transformed. It stops being just data, and it becomes a real, verifiable asset with a permanent, unchangeable history. And just look at what this unlocks. It's huge. First, you get provenance. That means a complete, perfect, unbreakable history of where that data came from and its entire journey. From there, you get undeniable ownership. No more questions about who it belongs to, and once you truly own it, you can license it and you can do it programmatically. But for me, the most powerful part is this last one, inherited attribution. This basically means every single person who ever touched or contributed to that piece of data can be automatically credited and rewarded every time it's used in the future. Game changer. This is really where it all clicks into place. The blockchain is basically a perfect, transparent ledger. It measures every single time the data is used. And then, using something called smart contracts, which are really just automated rules that run themselves, the rewards can be paid out automatically. Think about that. No middlemen taking a cut, no arguments over who gets what, just fair, programmable, automated value distribution. Okay, so this brings us to the final and I think most profound part of this whole idea. We're talking about a massive transformation, and it's not just some technical upgrade, It's a complete reimagining of what data even is and what we can do with it. So this is the world we're mostly living in right now. Data as exhaust. It's temporary, it's treated as worthless, and it just fades away into nothing. A total waste. And then there's this, the new vision. Data as infrastructure, something solid, something permanent, foundational. This is the kind of thing you can actually build on top of because you can trust that its value and its history are totally secure. And this really is the ultimate payoff. Data stops being exhausted and becomes infrastructure. When data has a real, verifiable identity, this is what happens. And we're not just talking about making slightly better apps here. We're talking about creating the trusted, solid foundation for the next generation of AI, for new scientific discoveries, maybe even for entire new digital economies. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Right now, in every system you manage, you've got data flowing. So the question is that flow building something solid, something valuable for the future? Is it building your infrastructure, or is it just creating more smoke, more exhaust? It seems like for the first time, that choice is actually becoming ours to make.